Friday, everyone. All In With CSN, live from here in Tiger Town, from the CSN studios, about a mile away from Death Valley as the crow flies over my shoulder here. But sitting in here in the All In With CSN studios, trying to keep warm and waiting for the impending snow to hit us tonight. We didn't go on the air on Monday due to the snowstorm. We kind of chilled out and kind of played it by ear. But here we are on Friday before the new snowstorm, and we're talking a lot of good things tonight. We're going to talk about football. We're going to talk basketball, and we're going to talk about this recruiting stuff, primarily this Ole Miss tampering stuff that's been going on since we last spoke. So let's get talking about basketball. First of all, basketball. Looks like Sean Poppy and his girls are after a 30-point win the other night over SMU. A great game. And if you didn't see the one story about the one girl, her mom coming over to visit her for the first time from Lithuania, it was an amazing story to check that out. But Sean Poppy and the girls are 15-7 now. I think 4-4 in the ACC, right on the bubble as far as becoming a tournament team. But basketball men's tomorrow is a noon tip-off in Clemson against Pitt. I'm thinking they're going to cancel that. I think I just posted something within the last 10 minutes that the school just released something about canceling all athletic events this weekend because of what's going to happen overnight here. We're expecting snow to start falling here in the next 3 or 4 hours, and probably going to snow for a solid 36 hours into tomorrow afternoon or evening. It's going to be a long day of white stuff, but it's supposed to be all snow, no ice. But got my dogs sitting here at my feet, hanging out, Jake and Simon. And we're going to talk football. The schedule was released also this week, so we got our schedule in front of us for 2026. We'll go over that here in a minute. But I think the big news everybody wants to talk about is this Luke Farrelly, Ole Miss transfer tampering thing that happened. Man, oh man. We said, and we dropped info on this a while back and wrote a story about it and claimed, and we true to our word, we said Dabo was going to come out with the receipts and say something, and he did. So on last Friday, a week ago, he came out and he dropped the hammer. He brought down the receipts. He brought a timeline. He showed the tampering like you'd never seen before. And, I'll quote Dabo, there's tampering 101, there's tampering 201, and this is tampering 301. This is like the advanced course of tampering. You're literally talking to a kid in his class at 8 a.m. as he's sitting there taking class, offering him $1 million contract via text. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm 59 years old, guys. I was born in 1966. Clemson fan since 1976. Went to my first football game on September 18th, 1976, right there on my birthday weekend, to see the Tigers play the Bulldogs, and been a fan since then. School there, all that stuff, okay? Lived here my whole life practically when I wasn't away doing my other career, which was in the music industry. But, man, I've never seen anything like this. And this goes back to the days of the 80s. And the only program I can compare Ole Miss to is if you're my age or older, remember Barry Switzer and the Oklahoma Sooners in the 80s? That was about as shady a bunch as you could find. That whole Southwestern Conference back then, SMU, Texas A&M, but especially Oklahoma, were just absolutely money. They were blatant about cheating, okay? Blatant about it back then. And Ole Miss is it's amazing because here's the thing about cheating. If you're going to cheat, you're supposed to win. And that ain't happening with Ole Miss, okay? Because I can go back to Houston Nutt. He got cheating. The NCAA got Ole Miss for Houston Nutt, got some NCAA violations. Then they hired Ed Orgeron. And Ed Orgeron, when he got hired at Mississippi, was not known as much of anything except that he could recruit. The only way he could recruit was because he had a bag out everywhere he went. The guy was buying players and has been known to be buying players for decades. I know that as being a recruiting analyst for all my years. I knew that back then. So if you go back to Ed Orgeron at Ole Miss, what happens during his tenure? They get this kid named Michael Orr. You guys remember the movie Blindside? Well, who is Michael Orr's high school football coach who weasels his way into a job, taking that situation and leveraging it against Ed Orgeron? And Ed Orgeron said, okay, no problem. That was Hugh Freeze. So Ed Orgeron is responsible for bringing Hugh Freeze into the world and then getting him on the Ole Miss staff as part of the Michael Orr deal. Okay? So what happens? Freeze leaves and gets a gig at Arkansas State, wherever it was he went to. Orgeron eventually gets fired. They need another guy that can come in and keep on cheating and keep on paying players like Orgeron was already doing, and just keep the game rolling. This all sounds like the SMU stuff because it's exactly like it. Boosters are all involved here. So that's what happens. Hugh Freeze gets the job, and then all of a sudden you have that class that he got that had Laquan Treadwell, whoever his name was, the kid, and and then there's the big tackle out of Georgia that flipped on signing day. They'd never even been to Mississippi. Then Robert Kendiche flips from Clemson to Ole Miss. I mean, they got the number 1 or 2 signing class in the country that year out of nowhere. And we all go to find out later on all of them got paid. Every one of them was under, it was a shady little whole deal. They got a big 4 years worth of probation for that one. Lack of institutional control of their program was tagged on them. That's almost like the death penalty. And they just don't learn, man. Then they go out, a couple years later, they go out and hire Lane Kiffin, another guy just known for being shady and just not there ethically. These guys have been skirting ethics forever, and now they're pointing fingers at everybody, pointing fingers at them. And it ain't just Clemson. Now it's come to light that they've been over there on the West Coast, and I think is think about here, which was Fresno State. It was Fresno State. They were over in Fresno State. I'm trying to think of who it was. Fresno State, and their number 1 wide receiver, they're over there tampering with this kid who's got the receipts now that we hear. So now there's 2 schools have got the stuff on these guys. And here's the difference between this and the past. In the past, this stuff got mentioned and nothing ever happened. But the NCAA has already stepped in on this one and said they've got their eyeballs on it. Okay? There's just been too much uproar. I think Dabo was the guy that, the button got pushed. Like I said in that article, get up on your soapbox, Dabo, and preach, because it was going to take somebody like Dabo coming to light and bringing this out, make something happen. So I think you're going to see something happen here. If it's a couple game suspension, whatever it is, it's at least going to get called out to light, and maybe it will force some rules here. For some guardrails to be set up on the sides of this thing so people know where they are, know how to stay in the lanes. Because right now everybody's all on the shoulder of the road passing each other, not following the lanes. So this whole thing with this tampering stuff, guys, just a mess. It's one of the reasons I hate what college football has become. And people go, you're just old school. You don't want kids to make any money. No, I'm all for them making money for their name, image, and likeness like they're set up to be. If I'm the player that everybody's coming to see, they're going to be selling my jerseys. And I'll be the one doing the advertising for the local chicken chain, or the local car dealership. That's how that worked. It wasn't everybody gets a piece of the pie and let's go out here and get agents involved and manipulate all this stuff. And then, boy, oh boy, anytime you bring money into the picture of anything, you just absolutely ruin it. And right now, college football is an absolute mess. Sucks. But that's that, Hey, but listen, let's talk about what I should talk about just a minute ago. Let's go back to the schedule release, which came out earlier this week. I'll go to ClemsonSports.com, our website. It's up there. I just released it, I think, yesterday or the day before. And it's got the schedule release. And obviously got the September 5th opener in Baton Rouge with the LSU. Lane Kiffin, the aforementioned, and his number 1 portal class that he went out and bought. They're going to be a handful because they went out and bought a professional football team pretty much, That's going to be at Baton Rouge on September 5th. I can promise you a night game. They won't let us get away with that one other than a night game. That one comes with a 10-point right now. The early odds on, they've got Clemson double-digit underdogs going in this game at 10.5 points. That one is going to be fun. Game number 2 at Clemson opener, Georgia Southern. That's going to be a get-right game. Whatever happens at LSU, either way, it's going to be a game for the team to get right and do their thing and kind of hopefully, be able to expand their offense and open the playbook up a little bit at that point in the season. And then you got a good one coming in right there into Tiger Town the next week. You're going to welcome North Carolina into town with another roster that's turned over from skill positions and all the meat of their defense got into the portal or into the NFL. Cal, the first game on the road in the ACC will be against Cal and Berkeley. I've been there personally in the past as a kid, or not as a kid in the music industry. I've done a couple concerts there, but man, what a strange place that's going to be for us to travel to with this football program for the very first time. That game comes, with a team that you don't know what they got. They do have a good quarterback that stuck around, so that's good. The sophomore southpaw, big kid, the Samoan kid, really gets the ball out there. Then the big one looks like he got a bye week, and then excuse me, that'll be a Friday, I think. But then the next game is October 3rd at Death Valley. You got the U coming in. You got Miami coming in, bringing a Darian Mensah, who's been a thorn in Clemson's side the last couple of years as quarterback for Duke. He'll be their quarterback. They've got another a class full of portal guys they went out and picked up again this year. They just plug and play what they did last year. I don't know if they're able to. I don't think they're going to be able to reproduce the production that they have on that defensive line, but we'll see. That's at home at Clemson. They got the U October the 3rd. October 17th, another get-right game. It looks like I think it's Charleston Southern. Then you got a game October 24th, Clemson with Virginia Tech coming to town. James Franklin's first time into Tiger Town ever. That'll be a good one. See how Virginia Tech does it. They've got another a bunch of guys. That whole program has pretty much been infused by Penn State and other recruiting targets that James Franklin had. So that's a team that's going to be trending up in the ACC. Interested to see. We're going to be going to Tallahassee this year to take on Seminoles. Interested to see where they end up at. This has been a team that's had a hard time managing the portal. Not getting players has not been a problem. It's just been the locker room meshing up right in Tallahassee between the recruited players and the portal players. And I just don't think Mike Norvell has an idea how to get this locker room, in cohesion. He's had players playing against each other, playing for themselves. Just a weird situation down there. But that's October 31st, Halloween in Tallahassee. Then we got, looks like Syracuse at the Loud Dome. That place is nuts and it's awful. I hate it when I go there. I've been there, and I've only been there as a media member. Sat in that press box, and boy, it's got a weird, low-level press box with a weird angle, and fans are stand up right in front of you. It's weird, but that whole place is weird. That's a good game though. It'll be loud. Syracuse again, Fran Brown, and that what he did last year with that team in the last couple of years, it's been pretty impressive. He did lose his quarterback here at Clemson last year, but took us to town. Out-coached us from the get-go. And then you got Georgia Tech coming in town. They've got a bunch of transfer guys coming in. They lost their offensive coordinator. They lost their top quarterback. They lost a lot of guys, but they went and got a bunch of guys coming in. So Georgia Tech and Brent Key and those guys will be here November 14th with a traditional ACC rival for Clemson in the past. And then you got Duke at Duke in Durham, a place that's not very fun to play. Clemson's not. It's not a place where Clemson does very well, believe it or not. And then you finish the season out at home with the Gamecocks coming in on November 28th, and we'll have the stadium, the designations for those games coming up soon. Like a IPTAY Day, Veterans, Family Game, all that stuff. That'll all come up. Homecoming. That'll all come up soon. We have those designations out when they come out. But right now, go up on the website. You can see the schedule laid out and kind of broken down a little bit. We have a little breakdown of each game and what it means, kind of thing. So check that out. What else? Let's get back this whole tampering thing. I don't know what you guys think about it. You can post on here with us as we discuss it live and ask questions. And we'll be glad to get to you with them. But I think we might be done with the portal right now. I don't know. I don't think there's anybody out in the portal. They're actually out there actively searching and seeking. I know that the coaches have been doing a lot of recruiting into the 27 class right now. Talking to a lot of kids, getting some on-campus interviews, and doing a lot of visiting the high schools and reconnecting. That's something I hadn't seen Dabo and the guys do like as hard as they're doing it right now in a couple 3 years. So yeah, it's good to see them out there doing that, building some more connections there. But man, just stay tuned. Everybody go out this week and have a great time. The snow's great. We're going to just be chilling. I'm stopping by Ingles first thing in the morning. I'm going to take a ride over there in the snow. Ingles, low prices, love the savings. Gotta love Ingles, our title sponsor for 9 straight years here at Clemson Sports News. And we got our other sponsors like Benson's Ford. Get there on the hat there with Benson Ford over there in Easley. That's Mr. Crow and the guys. They've been with us for about 7 years. And then our buddies over there at Oakway Tractor, Andy and the guys here in Westminster and Oakway and Seneca. Have been around for decades. Oakway Tractor there, Kubota specialist, orange tractor days. And then we got our folks over at JW Martin Real Estate, Joey Martin and the gang, man. Great people. Best real estate company in the upstate. When it comes to real estate plots, corporate, all kinds of stuff, reach out to Joey and the JW Martin real estate team, okay? But until Monday, guys, we're going to sit back and watch the snow fall tonight, relax. And think about tomorrow's basketball game. We'll see if it happens or not. We'll report on it if it does. If it doesn't, we'll tell you when they postpone it. And just check out our feeds, ClemsonSportsNews.com, the Facebook, the Twitter, the X platform, Instagram, and our YouTube platforms. But be sure to follow us and share us. You guys have a great night, and go Tigers.